Patriot Radio News Hour on this Monday. I hope you had a great weekend. As well, August is here, and of course, we had the jobs number on Friday. Donald Trump still raging, firing the head of the Bureau of Labor Statistics. And, I find it interesting because we've been getting these massive revisions to jobs. I mean, going back to Biden, right? We didn't know, and I, people are like, oh, he shouldn't have fired the lady and this and that. I don't know. Maybe that's not a bad thing, right? I mean, to miss it that badly is, and to do it this consistently, yeah, maybe it was the right thing. I don't know. But it definitely has had its effect on the markets. It's been a lot of talk about tariffs. Is there anything that's going to happen with Russia? Remember, Donald Trump gave him 10 days over the weekend. India and China said, yeah, we don't care. We're buying it from them because it's in the best interest for us, which, hard to argue with that. I guess we'll have to see. We've got not a lot of data. We do have some ISM data. We got some data this morning, wasn't very good, which Wall Street liked. We'll get trade data. And then, of course, earnings will continue. Our toll-free number, 800-951-0592. The website at allamericangold.com. Of course, what do we do? Wealth insurance. Yeah, you're probably going to need it. The physical delivery of gold and silver. Listen, what does gold and silver do? As I've been telling you, it protects what you already earned. Right? What a crappy deal having money in the bank is, isn't it? Especially now that they want to lower rates. Matter of fact, Donald Trump reasserted he wants 1%. That's what he wants, 1% on the 10-year note, which means, well, let's not pay you any interest once again. Of course, we went through that for 15 years. Will it make a comeback? I don't know. We're going to have to wait and see. Over the weekend, Citigroup said, okay, we get it. Let's raise our gold forecast. Of course, they've been a little behind. They had a $3,300 forecast. They're now saying over the next 3 months, it's going to be at least $3,500, as high as even $3,600. And again, I think with the rate cutting cycle that we know we're coming on. A matter of fact, who was it? One of the Fed governors just stepped down. I think her term ended in January. I think it was Kugler. I think she was filling in for somebody else. A voting member didn't vote for rate cuts. She has stepped down. So Donald Trump will. Well, I guess I don't even think she's going to finish her term. So Donald Trump will have another Fed replacement. So would that be instead of 7-2, 6-3 for rate cuts? Of course, with the jobs number now, listen, I think it's all but guaranteed. The rate cutting cycle will start in September. Of course, I've been telling you this for a very, very long time. They will cut rates because they have to, not because they need to. One of the things, when you hear them talk about, hey, we've got $37 trillion, $38 trillion in debt, right? That's the number that they want you to believe. Do you know that if the government was a business, they wouldn't be able to say $37 trillion. Now, of course, it's government, so I guess technically it's not a business, even though it's in the business of picking winners and losers. The actual total, if the government was a business, and a lot of people out there, well, government should run like a business. Okay. Do you know what the debt would be today? Just curious if anyone knows. $143 trillion is what would be on the government's balance sheet if it was a business. The total liabilities of the government, $151.3 trillion, offsetting government assets. Ready for this? Just under $8 trillion. That's all the government, they say, has in assets. Most of that in buildings and real estate. But yeah, $143 trillion. Remember last week, Scott Bessent. Listen, I'm going to tell you right now. I hope you figure out a way to have extra income. I hope you do. Social Security is in big trouble. Really big trouble. They're not going to tell you that it is, but it is. Really big. Yeah, I wish it wasn't. But right now, if the government was a business, the deficit would be $143 trillion. Yeah, it's a little different, isn't it? We'll be back after the break. 800-951-0592, Patriot Radio News Hour. Joe and Jace. Jace will be in here in just a minute on this Monday. Let's take a quick look in. So the Dow's up 500 points after the big sell-off on Friday. I think they're starting to realize, wait a minute, bad news is good. We did get factory data for June. And this is hard because this tariff stuff throws all these numbers way off. But a big collapse in factory. Matter of fact, the biggest drop in factory orders since COVID. The second, drop, the second biggest monthly drop in 69 years for factory orders this morning. Again, now we're not just talking about quarter point. How big of rate cuts are we going to see? Donald Trump, again, re-emphasizing he wants the Fed funds rate down to 1%. Now, we won't go right to 1%, but we know Jay Powell's days are numbered. We know he's going to put somebody in there that's going to do what he wants. Why in the world would you have a bunch of money sitting in your bank account devaluing itself is beyond me. But right now, the Dow's up almost 500 points. The S&P's up 72. The Nasdaq's up 300. The 10-year note, 422. Now, really hasn't moved today. All of that was due to the jobs number on Friday. Crude oil is down 66.73. OPEC's going to increase production, and it looks like, anyway, at least right now, nobody seems very interested in doing anything when it comes to Russian and Iranian oil, with the exception of maybe the United States. Gold's up again after a big day on Friday. It's up a 12 spot, 33.75 now on gold. Silver's up as well, 37.25 on silver. Continue to add here as, again, the path is clear for where the Fed funds rates is going to go now. The path is clear on what is going to be the path for the dollar, which is going to be lower rates, lower dollar, unfortunately, more inflation, right? The 2%, we will not be there, but we'll have to watch this together. 800-951-0592, just to update you on the pace of U.S. debt now. $156 million an hour is what the United States goes into debt. That's almost $3.75 billion a day in deficits. And those are days that you don't have Treasury refinancing. Like we know we got to do $1 trillion here, right? That's just a regular day, right? That's just a regular day for the United States. Remember, a regular day used to be just under $3 billion a day. So now you can see the pace after the big beautiful bill here of what we are looking at. And then something else I want everyone to be aware of. Vanguard. So you know Vanguard, right? The big 401k company, right?
Yep.
Right? They own so much of everything, right? Well, they came out and wanted everybody to know. Now, I'm sure they won't talk about this on CNBC. I'm sure of it. They said, hey, listen, over the past several decades, U.S. stock market has yielded an average return of about 10%. That's pretty good, right? I mean, refi's a little better, but still pretty good. Gold's been better, but still pretty good. Vanguard says those days are over. Talking about how overpriced Wall Street is, saying that the stock market will only rise, at least it's rising, I guess, between 3 to 5% a year over the next decade. And that is one of the kind of the higher end. Goldman Sachs says 3%. Jason and I, we've been talking about this off and on for a while. The next 10 years is going to be an ugly one. And I'm going to preface it with starting in 2026. That's my time frame, because I think Wall Street's got one last gasp here in the initial rounds of rate cuts, I think. We'll see. But after that, things get very difficult. No one is projecting anywhere close to 10% returns, which Wall Street has achieved over the last couple of decades. Like I said, most of them in that 3% range. And of course, Jason, if inflation's 3% and only 3%, that would be like no return, right? You're just staying put. Of course, the one thing that I think is going to be very telling is if we avoid any type of recession, and will the bond market actually play along with the 10-year note yields if the Fed truly is going to be cutting all of these rates that we expect? It looks like Wall Street is going to be a place, Jason, where, unlike the last 20 years, they won't be getting the returns necessary right? Because we keep talking about, hey, listen, you better find another revenue stream. And right now, hey, okay, my 401k, my IRA, we can do it. And Vanguard is essentially telling people, if you're counting on the returns you've been getting, you're going to be in big trouble, right? You're not going to see. And these are listen, no offense, but they're going to err on what side? They're stock companies, right? They make a living for you buying stock. So are they giving you the rosiest forecast? Probably. And if the rosiest forecast is like 3%, what happens if it's just flat? Heaven forbid going down, Jason.
Yeah. I mean, well, we're looking at the short term, and the short term might look okay. I mean, there's a lot of money being splashed in, but how many? It's just mind-boggling how many billions and trillions of dollars it takes to just keep the boat floating, right, Joe? And it's all made-up numbers. Everyone's in a fantasy, right? So as long as everyone stays in a fantasy, but what happens is a few large entities start to get a little spooked, right? Yeah. And some of these large entities right now are big businessmen. They've been pulling their money out for a couple of years now, definitely since last year. So, Joe, yeah, it's this thing can fall apart very, very quickly. I've said when it comes to buying gold and silver over the years, it's better to be a year early than 1 day late, right, Joe? Because, man, when it's late and you're buying and gold has doubled and tripled and quadrupled. I mean, I know gold went up a lot recently, but it's been holding this nice little spot. It's like saying, okay, here's your new level, here's your new spot, here's your warning,
right?
Because it's going to go up again. It's going to go up, and when is it going to be a couple of months from now? Is it going to happen next week? I mean, last week, 2 weeks ago, when Joe was on vacation, it would look like it was getting ready to go, and then it just kind of a false start. It kind of stopped. And it's giving you guys a chance to get in and hold a nice, strong position in gold, Joe. It's where you got to have it. Don't have it sitting in a bank, Joe. Just don't have it sitting there.
It's going to get difficult. If you've been fortunate and you've had a large 401k that's now an IRA, maybe you got 401ks from 2, 3, 4 jobs ago. Take a chunk of that and roll it into gold and silver. Don't put all of it in there. Take a good piece of it. Take a healthy piece and put it into gold and silver. I don't know if you saw it, Texit. We've been talking about the crypto space a lot. Of course, we've been telling you about Texit, kind of a second chance at Bitcoin. Another jump to the upside this weekend, about 215, 220. Got all the way to, touched 249, but been pretty much hanging around $2.15. Jason and I were talking today. We have just us in our downline, 100 people in our downline all have now gone plus money. All the May people, especially the early May people, even some of the June people, if you signed some people up, you guys went plus money over the weekend, way ahead of schedule. This is something, and again,
3 months. That's just 3 months. If you're beginning of May, 3 months, you're done. You've made your money, and you're in bonus.
Right? Think about if you did the 9-pack, $8,955, and you've already made all of your money back, and you're going to get more coins today, tomorrow, the next day, the next day, the next day, the next day, and of course we know what the forecast is. Another record this week for miners signing up. We're already over 12,500. Remember, 15,000 miners. It's a big deal. Only for people that, because our line is so big, a lot of people get free hash now. If you're set to hash, a lot of you are going to be getting free hash. If you haven't already, you will. Don't worry, you will. And you get grandfathered in. In other words, this will go on in perpetuity. Won't end. But as soon as miner 15,000 signs up, miner 15,000 in one, no free hash. No free hash. So get in before. And you know, I thought we got a couple weeks. So right now, the way it's going, I don't know, maybe Wednesday or Thursday of next week. Problem is, it could go faster, right? We're setting records, so it's hard. We're going to be at miner 15,000, let's say, in the next 10 days or so. So if you want to get in on that, do so. Those of you that didn't start with 9 packs, if you upgrade to 9 packs, you've got till the end of August. They'll give you the 2 pay centers. Yeah, wow, that's a huge bonus. Anyone who does a 9 off the shoot, you get 3 pay centers. Not only do they give you the 2 pay centers, they put them up to where you signed up originally. Yeah, so you'll already have a downline. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. We'll be back after the break. 800-951-0592. Patriot Radio News Hour. Joe and Jason on this Monday. We don't take calls on the Patriot Show. If you do want to text us a question, 877-536-1360. Someone did that. Explain the difference between no more free hash after miner 15,000. Again, can you still earn hash by signing people up? Of course you can. Yes. And for those of you that have like cash potential, you sign people up, you can get that free hash without a doubt. It's for those that don't. Right? Maybe you haven't signed up people, or maybe you've only signed up a few and you kind of used your cash potential. You could get free hash without signing anybody up. I will check. I know this. If you sign miners up, you're going to get hash after 15,000. Yep. I don't know. Let me check. I don't want to say something and then be wrong later. That may be the only way to get more hash power after miner 15,000. Let me check. Let me check that. And I will have that answer for you tomorrow. But great question.
The way it's supposed
yes.
So the way it's supposed to work, and I don't know about the little change that Joe's talking about, is if you've not signed anybody up, you don't get cash potential. Let's say you got a 1 pack and then you're under Joe. Joe, because he's sending points through you further up the line, he puts somebody on your left, and then let's just say a 3 pack. And then, I don't know, 3 weeks later, he puts somebody on your right side and points are flowing up. Now you got 3 points on your left and right for that week. You've not signed anybody up. You can't get the $1,000 cash bonus, no Texas coin, no USDC, but you will get 100 hash added to your account. And I think that's going to stay, Joe, as long as the points match up. I think that's going to stay. But if they're getting rid of that will motivate people to start signing people up, because you won't be able to increase your hash unless you do a sign up. But I have a feeling they'll leave that alone.
The cool part is anybody before miner 15,000, you don't even have to worry about it, right? That's the good part, right? You're going to be in and your grandfather, so that will never change. That will not go away for any of those people. So a pretty cool deal. If you want to sign up for text at 800-951-0592. Again, another move to the upside on Texit. You know, when we first started talking, it's crazy. It was 50 cents. Right now it's $2.15. And again, right, the target $16 by February, and they're ahead of schedule, right? August, we're supposed to be $1.95. Well, forget about that. We're way past that. And it's because so many people are joining up. Listen, talk about having other income. let's just look at reality, okay? Just the reality. Over the next 10 years, okay, Donald Trump saying, listen, we got to lower these rates, got to lower them right now. He's not wrong. The debt is so big, and it's going to get so much bigger. I don't know. I don't see a scenario until we have a big change in monetary policy. Probably some type of a digital currency where the Fed can maybe have a two-tiered system. But I don't believe you're going to see the days where leaving your money in the bank does you any good. Matter of fact, paying interest on bank savings may go away completely because the debt is so big the government can't afford to pay interest. It's very possible. But then they'll have a different system for home loans and auto loans and credit cards, right? They'll let the banks make the money that way. Of course, think about it. Saves the bank a bunch of money not having to pay you interest. We know that's going away again, right? Why do we know? Donald Trump keeps saying, I want 1%. And he's going to make sure it's 1% by whoever the hell he puts in there going 1%, which means you get nothing. Then Vanguard and Morningstar come out and say, hey, by the way, all those great stock returns? Yeah, those are gone. Those are gone. You need to be able to generate income. Is Texas a risk? Yep. Every week that goes by, it's a little less risky, isn't it? But it's a risk. It's a risk. But this is something where some of us, we're going for crypto rich, right? But the vast majority of people, how cool would it be? Hey, I threw in, whether it's $995 or $889.55, I'm getting $100 a day from this. For the rest of my life, got to remember, the mine goes for another 136 years. Hey, I get $3,000 a month in income that I can sell. Whenever I want, I can sell some of it every day. I can just sell one chunk of it every month. I can sell it once a quarter. I can do what I want, and I get to do it when I need to do it. But I have another revenue stream. That's really, I think, the vast majority of the people that go into Texas probably fit into that category. Hey, I may sign up my wife or maybe my neighbor or maybe one of my kids or two of my kids, but that's about it. And then Joe and Jason, they're going to help me. I'm going to get some more hash, but I'm going to have a nice little income. You know what? It's very easy to see $300 a day. Really, it wouldn't take that much. A couple of nine, especially if you do a 9-pack and then you take the other two setters and get 9-packs on those, all of a sudden, it's very easy to see, hey, I'm going to get $300, $400, $500 a day. Yeah, that's what Texas can do. On the other side, gold. Look at gold. Look at what it's doing. Look at where everyone's talking about where it's going. I don't even care about gold 3,500. It should be higher than that already. I've got 25 $10 gold pieces left. Now think about it. We ran $10 gold pieces on Friday. 1 through 9, $17.50. 10 or more, $17.40. I've only got 25 left. Gold went up like $1 bazillion on Friday. It went up 60. Listen, we had set the price before, gold was up like 30. Now you look, it's up another dozen. 33.75. I've got 25 of them left. 1 through 9, $17.50. 10 or more, $17.40 at 800-951-0592. Patriot Radio News Hour. Joe and Jason will be back after the break. 1-800-951-0592. Patriot Radio News Hour. Joe and Jason on this Monday. Boeing at their fighter jet engine, I guess, assembly plant. Union members walked out. 3,200 union members saying that Boeing's offer not good enough. And, you know, it's hard when you see these kinds of number. They rejected an offer that featured a 40% average wage growth. And, it's hard. A 20% pay boost effective immediately, a $5,000 signing bonus, plus all these other perks. But, Jason, it's not enough. It's not enough. When you sit there and you look at what inflation has done, and guys, understand, more is coming because they've decided we got to print even more money. And we're going to lower rates. In other words, we're going to lean into it. There are problems starting to appear. You know, we got the jobs number. I don't know. We'll see. That's been the trend for years now. All these massive revisions downward.
Trump fired his statistics person.
Yeah.
Got to talk about that.
Well, you know what? And I'm going to say this. I mean, come on. Like, shouldn't they be, like, if you miss that badly for years, right? And again, I'm not saying that there was any wrong. I'm just saying, hey, I don't know, call me crazy. Hey, guys, maybe we need to make a change to the formula because we keep overstating the jobs, right? You know, and of course, Donald Trump wanted rate cuts. Believe me, no job growth for 3 straight months would have helped. Right? That would have helped. You know, instead there's like 147,000 jobs. And now they're like, well, wait, did we say that? Oh, well, we meant 14. That's not close. Right? So I don't know. I mean, I know some people want to make a big deal about it, but obviously you were crappy at your job. I mean,
how do we even know the numbers are right to begin with?
We don't. Well, you know, I know. I always say, you know, we got these things called computers.
Yeah, they're fast.
I don't know if you've ever heard of them, and now you can link these servers up together. They can capture, I mean, like a bajillion pieces of data every second. But you're telling me that we can't figure out how many people got added to companies' payrolls? Really?
We can watch Texitcoin in real time and give you the up-to-the-date moment of how many miners have signed on. But the federal government can't tell you within a round estimate the up-to-the-day how many jobs.
Right. Somewhere in the ballpark.
Oh,
no, we can't pull. Jason, we just can't pull it off. We can't do it.
We're just not privy to that information. We have to have lagging. And I guess in the case of the statistics person that got fired, sometimes 3 months later, they're still lagging. They're still changing the numbers 3 months later.
Listen, here's the funny part. And you guys, we're supposed to invest our money based on this stuff.
Yeah.
You think maybe you want some $10 gold pieces? Are you kidding me? I mean, you're talking about $10 gold pieces less than 20s. You're talking about $10 gold pieces. Listen, 1 through 9, $17.50, right? 10 or more, $17.40. That's like $50 over spot on a half-ounce gold piece. Jason, it's insane.
Well, let's say Warren Buffett walked into Patriot and decided to give some advice. Well, we don't have to have him walk in. We know what his advice is. Sell all your stock. I mean, that's what he's doing. Now, stock prices are still going up, record highs. What did I say earlier in the show? Better a year early than 1 day late. Sure sounds like Warren Buffett, Jamie Dimon, Elon Musk.
Jeff Bezos? How about Jeff Bezos? Dumped a boatload of stock. Amazon stock had horrible earnings for Amazon anyway. What was it, Thursday or Friday? Obviously don't read anything into that. He didn't know. He was getting married. He didn't know what was going on, and He just sold his stock because. If anyone believes that, I've got some oceanfront property for you right here in Arizona. 800-951-0592. Patriot Radio News Hour. $10 gold pieces, 1 through 9. $17.50. 10 or more. $17.40. Remember, I only have 25 left at 800-951-0592 if you want to sign up for Texit. And again, the vast majority, this is going to be this revenue stream that is going to allow you to function. Think about this. In the next 5 years, okay, they don't have the money. Social Security, the fake trust fund runs out. Okay, so what can they do? Well, they can just add it to the debt, which is what's going to happen, right? They'll add it to the debt. Of course, I'll tell you, well, gosh, we only can pay whatever number they pick, 75%, 80%. Why do they set us up like this? Because there is no trust fund. They spent that money. It's just fake. It's paperwork. Non-marketable security, they call it. Well, let me tell you what they're going to do. I know what they're going to do. Hey, let's just raise the taxes on Social Security. And I don't know, let's cut the benefits a little bit as well. And let's raise the age to 80 while we're at it. Yeah. Better find income somewhere, guys. We'll be back after the break. 800-951-0592. Patriot Radio News Hour. Joe and Jason, get ready for the next leg in gold and silver as the September rate cuts start coming more into focus. The worse the data, the better. We got it with jobs on Friday, got it with factory orders, the second biggest drop ever in the 69-year history of factory orders. Yeah, I mean, I know a lot of it's tariff and all that stuff, but still pretty impressive. $10 gold pieces. It's like the crime of the century here, buying them at this price. $17.50, 10 or more, $17.40. Well, supplies to last at 800-951-0592. And remember, get ready. Banks are going to stop paying interest again. Now, Vanguard and Morningstar say, these Wall Street returns. By the way, so the CAPE ratio right now, and that's at, this is how much overvalued stocks are. 38.7. Yeah, way out of line. I mean, this is, anything like over 25 is high. Anything over 30 is almost stupid, and we're talking about almost 40 here, which tends to mean we're probably going to have a big pullback at some point, and 10 years later, we'll be lucky if stocks are 3% higher than they are today, Jason. I highly recommend you throw some money in Texit. Hey, I'm not saying you got to do $8,955, but get in here. Even at $955, see how it goes. You can upgrade at any point, and of course, getting in before the first 15,000 makes a lot of sense as well, Jason.
Yeah, that my wife got that 9-pack set up like a little over a week ago. There's already $500 on there, right, Joe? I mean, we did get one sign up, but no bonuses, no commissions. It's a brand new. I mean, there's nothing there. I haven't been placed a bunch of people there. And it's got, of course, you build a few coins in there. Then we had the bump on Sunday. and suddenly you got 1/18 of the investment already paid back, and it's been a week. It's mind-blowing how quickly this thing can move, and if you're positioned right with this, you can really do well. And if you just put a little work and effort into it, what does work and effort mean? Show people your app, show them how well you've done, and say, hey, I'd like to sign you up. I don't totally understand this whole thing. I'm listening. Great. You bring them to Joe, and you bring them to me, and between your new guy that's looking at your app and my knowledge or Joe's knowledge, and we get the potential investor to sign up under you. And then bang, you're getting close to a weekly commission, right, Joe? More hash or a Texas coin or whatever you sign up for. It's not very hard. You don't have to be an expert at this. That's why they call us sponsors, right, Joe? We're spending a lot of time and effort trying to get the education up so everyone can do it, Joe.
Listen, we do it together. You don't need to know anything. Listen, I didn't know anything. I still don't know anything. By the way, looks like not in pencil. In pencil. Another meeting coming for Phoenix, August 13th, where we're going to monetize our Texit. That's right. It's great that it says you have this much money. How do I actually make it into money? That's what that meeting's going to be. God bless everybody. Oh, by the way, we're not done. Jason and I, we're coming right back with the Half Empty Cup. Stay with us.